want to talk to you a bit about the current broken system. This is what we're talking about with the agribusiness. Okay? It starts still with crops being grown. Most of the time, those crops are going to be sprayed either with pesticides or herbicides to keep back the weeds and keep the insects off, for the general purpose to try to make sure that that farmer has something to actually sell you, to make sure there's not insects that are going to destroy their crops or weeds that are going to take up the nutrients and space so that the crop doesn't perform very well. Okay, so they have a purpose for why they do it, but that's what's going to happen in the majority of the system today. And then, in the course of irony, because we can't actually eat the pesticides and herbicides we just put on the food that we want to eat, we're going to have to wash those chemicals back off. All right, so we're going to replace our symbol up here with the new UN one, just so that we don't get confused on exactly what we're dealing with as part of our current broken system. The next part of this process is processing and packaging. Okay, so this is either the food being processed in a way that it can become part of a boxed food product, or it's just simply packaging into plastics and cases so that they can be shipped to us somewhere else. Which is the next step, the shipping. Shipping in our current system is more or less a ripening system. Your food cannot be shipped to you ripe. Otherwise, by the time it reached you at the supermarket, it would already be rotten. So here's an interesting article that was put out by a doctor on acefitness.org. And there's a lot of information on here. I'm going to point out the ones that I've underlined. That's my doing. She talks about how if you didn't buy it at a farmer's market or your own backyard, your produce was picked at least several days ago. Because otherwise it would spoil too quickly. And there's going to be a degradation of some of its nutritional value. So what we're talking about here is not just them picking the food before it was actually ripe and it was full of all of the nutrients it could possibly have. We're also talking about them now shipping the food, and while it's shipping, it changes its color, like a green tomato turning red or so on and so forth, or a green banana turning yellow. We're also talking about the actual nutritional value going down in that food product because of the shipment, whether we refrigerate it or not. By the time you eat a fresh vegetable that traveled across continents to reach your dinner table, a substantial amount of nutritional value may be lost. Okay? I couldn't find the exact quotes. I've heard people talk about it before. Have you ever heard about being hungry on a full stomach? There's a lot of instruction out there that talks about how you can eat a lot of food. You can even eat good greens and vegetables, but the food itself not have the right amount of nutrition in it, that you end up filling yourself up but not providing your body with the nutrients that it needs. So you can have a full stomach but still be hungry because your brain's telling you that's not enough. I need more of what you just ate. Okay, and she had several examples on her article, which was called "How Much Difference Is There in Nutritional Value Between Fresh and Frozen Fruits and Vegetables?" She actually spoke very little about frozen vegetables and spoke a lot about just how much is lost from the time that you pick something to the time that you eat it. You can see vitamin C degrades rapidly, significant loss in B vitamins, and thus fresh tends to be the best source. I put those two up there as a good reference. Suffice to say, the rest of her references read the same way. Significant loss, best to eat it fresh. Okay? All right, so our current system puts things in a truck and ships it to us so that we can buy it in the supermarket. Well, whether we're buying it fresh, buying a head of lettuce right off the produce rack, or whether we're buying processed food that's been packaged for us in some sort of form, it went through this process. And by the time it reaches us, even if it has a pretty little symbol on it that says made in the USA or grown in California, we really have no clue what that means. It could be grown in California, picked a week ago, then shipped to you while it ripened and lost its nutrition value, and sold you in a supermarket, and you still tried really hard to do the right thing and missed it. Okay? So let's talk a little bit more about how we can fix it.